I think like these systems will make a lot of jobs just go away. Every technological revolution does. They will enhance many jobs and make them much better, much more fun, much higher paid. And they'll create new jobs that are difficult for us to imagine, even if we're starting to see the first glimpses of them. I heard someone last week talking about GPT-4, saying that even people who think they don't like their jobs, they really need them. It's really important to them and to society. And also, can you believe how awful it is that France is trying to raise the retirement age? And I think we as a society are confused about whether we want to work more or work less. And certainly about whether most people like their jobs and get value out of their jobs or not. If we can move more of the world to better jobs and work to something that can be a broader concept, not something you have to do to be able to eat, but something you do as a creative expression and a way to find fulfillment and happiness and whatever else, even if those jobs look extremely different from the jobs of today, I think that's great. I'm not nervous about it at all.
You have been a proponent of UBI, Universal Basic Income. In the context of AI, can you describe your philosophy there of our human future with UBI? Why you like it? What are some limitations?
I think it is a component of something we should pursue. It is not a full solution. I think people work for lots of reasons besides money. And I think we are going to find incredible new jobs, and society as a whole and people's individuals are going to get much, much richer. But as a cushion through a dramatic transition, and as just like, I think the world should eliminate poverty if able to do so. I think it's a great thing to do as a small part of the bucket of solutions. I helped start a project called WorldCoin, which is a technological solution to this. We also have funded a large, I think maybe the largest and most comprehensive universal basic income study as part of, sponsored by OpenAI. And I think it's like an area we should just be looking into.
How do you think the economic and political systems will change as AI becomes a prevalent part of society? It's such an interesting sort of philosophical question. Looking 10, 20, 50 years from now, what does the economy look like? What does politics look like? Do you see significant transformations in terms of the way democracy functions even?
I love that you asked them together because I think they're super related. I think the economic transformation will drive much of the political transformation here, not the other way around. My working model for the last 5 years has been that the two dominant changes will be that the cost of intelligence and the cost of energy are going, over the next couple of decades, to dramatically fall from where they are today. And the impact of that, you're already seeing it with the way you now have like programming ability beyond what you had as an individual before, is society gets much, much richer, much wealthier in ways that are probably hard to imagine. I think every time that's happened before, it has been that economic impact has had positive political impact as well. And I think it does go the other way too. Like the socio-political values of the Enlightenment enabled the long-running technological revolution and scientific discovery process we've had for the past centuries. But I think we're just going to see more. I'm sure the shape will change, but I think it's this long and beautiful exponential curve.
Do you think there will be more, I don't know what the term is, but systems that resemble something like democratic socialism? I've talked to a few folks on this podcast about these kinds of topics.
Instinct, yes. I hope so.
So that it reallocates some resources in a way that supports, kind of lifts the people who are struggling.
I am a big believer in lift up the floor and don't worry about the ceiling.
Why do you think communism in the Soviet Union failed?
I think like more individualism, more human will, more ability to self-determine is important. And also, I think the ability to try new things and not need permission and not need some sort of central planning, betting on human ingenuity and this sort of like distributed process, I believe is always going to beat. And I think that, like, for all of the deep flaws of America, I think it is the greatest place in the world because it's the best at this.
Let me ask you for advice for young people in high school and college, what to do with their life, how to have a career they can be proud of, how to have a life they can be proud of. You wrote a blog post a few years ago titled How to Be Successful. And there's a bunch of really, people should check out that blog post. It's so succinct, it's so brilliant. You have a bunch of bullet points. Compound yourself, have almost too much self-belief, learn to think independently, get good at sales in quotes, make it easy to take risks, focus, work hard, as we talked about, be bold, be willful, be hard to compete with, build a network. You get rich by owning things, be internally driven. What stands out to you from that or beyond as advice you can give?
Yeah, no, I think it is like good advice in some sense, but I also think it's way too tempting to take advice from other people. And the stuff that worked for me, which I tried to write down there, probably doesn't work that well, or may not work as well for other people. Or like other people may find out that they want to just have a super different life trajectory. And I think I mostly got what I wanted by ignoring advice. And I think, like, I tell people not to listen to too much advice. Listening to advice from other people should be approached with great caution.
How would you describe how you've approached life? In the quiet of your mind to think, what gives me happiness? What is the right thing to do here? How can I have the most impact?
I wish it were that, introspective all the time. It's a lot of just like, what will bring me joy? What will bring me fulfillment? What will be, I do think a lot about what I can do that will be useful, but like, who do I want to spend my time with? What do I want to spend my time doing?
What do you think is the meaning of this whole thing? That's a question you could ask an AGI. What's the meaning of life? As far as you look at it, you're part of a small group of people that are creating something truly special. Something that almost feels like humanity was always moving towards.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is I don't think it's a small group of people. I think this is like the product of the culmination of whatever you want to call it, an amazing amount of human effort. And if you think about everything that had to come together for this to happen, when those people discovered the transistor in the 40s, like, is this what they were planning on? All of the work, the hundreds of thousands, millions of people, whatever it's been, that it took to go from that one first transistor to packing the numbers we do into a chip and figuring out how to wire them all up together, and everything else that goes into this, the energy required, the science, like just every step, like this is the output of like all of us. And I think that's pretty cool.